Normally I start by saying has anyone seen me before, but the rise and applause early when no one knew who the fuck I was really sort of gave that point away. So I'll do a brief introduction. I used to be a debt collector, cocaine dealer, had several court trials, and started a comedy career in between car park boxing for extra cash. Now we're all reacquainted. I'm the anti-argument for white privilege, quite frankly. Just look at me. None of this went to a special school. I'll be honest, it should have gone to a special school. Spelling's not my forte. Glenn's booked me for gigs before. I'll be honest with you, I was in two minds about this one. Not because I didn't think that people would be lovely. Not because when I walked in here I didn't think this was a cool setup, not because there isn't a guy that really loved the Hitler stuff earlier on. I thought he's my cup of tea. But the last gig Glenn booked me on was a charity gig, and I know what you're thinking, oh, you're doing it just for charity. They pay. So we went, and Glenn gave me no information, apart from, it's at the Hilton, it's for a charity event. He didn't tell me what the charity was, which given my style of comedy is a fucking dicey gamble. We arrived and the guy went, we don't need you for an hour, go away. So me and Glenn went drinking. We came back. I'm casual drinking. I've had 6 double rum and cokes tonight. I'm parked right out front. So if you think I was hard drinking that night, just imagine what we got into. We got back and the guys went, we don't need you for another 45 minutes, go away. So we carried on hard drinking. And then I was led into a fucking room of 300 people holding 3 large rum and cokes. And the woman went, you'll be on after the speech. And I went, no problem. And I sat there drinking the corner. And this woman proceeded to do a 30-minute video slide of dead babies in Afghanistan. Yeah. It was the plight of Afghanistan post-war. And we were like, this is a fucking comedy show that's following this. She was a refugee that had fled, was trying to save them, and in between a tumbling arena of dead babies on the wall, she pointed out the one she knew personally. Yeah. And after that was comedy. Luckily, it wasn't straight after, and migrant woman who'd been on some form of like Albania's Got Talent came out and did a 9-minute operatic rendition of her tribute against the war. And then a guy, Glenn's, when he gets introduced, he has a little bit that said, his mum said he was funny once, now here he is for you. That's the intro. It's a bit like art, as you can see, it's a joke. The compere came out and go, he thinks he's funny, and they just held out the microphone. That was it. Dead babies, tragic singing. He thinks he's funny. That's not a fucking intro. I don't know if any of you have hosted a show. Don't start with dead babies. Don't finish with it either. Fucking awkward, Hazel. It's awkward. Luckily, Glenn went first and let me finish, so while Glenn was on stage, I stood to the right behind a table of a woman going, did they really think this was appropriate comedy for this? And I'm still behind going, to be fair, we didn't know. Needless to say, it wasn't our finest gig. We were shit-faced drunk, thank God. And I think I did 3 minutes of material and gave a rousing speech about the plight of immigrants being a white Englishman from the south coast of England. So I could only imagine how grateful they were for my being there at that time. Cocksucking. Fucking seamless transition. It's been in this 12 years. I was getting sucked off recently. Not too recently. I'm not showing off. It was like a few months back. Does anyone have like an acquaintance? They're not like one of those sex buddies, but just someone who randomly message every now and again and go, you fancy a fuck? No one's admitting to having one of those. Look at me, I can't have the best sex life in the room. Let's be Hitler lover. You? Anybody? You just sent her away, did you? Oh, fucking seamless. I'm worth every penny of the admission you didn't fucking pay for. I'm not bitter, I'm just nearly 40 and this is my life. So yeah, I had a female, I won't use her real name, won't make her famous. And she messaged me going, sunsets at 7:20, and I went, hi, I'm really into the weather. Because that's how people chat you up nowadays. Sun's out, isn't it? Yeah. And she went, fancy a blowjob on the beach? And I went, well, I was going to watch Britain's Got Talent with my dad, but fuck it, I can record it and watch it. And we drove down to the beach. I drive, I'm a gentleman. And she got to business, and while she was doing her thing, she started using baby talk. Now I know some people like baby talk in the bedroom, like, oh, daddy, who's your daddy, how's your daddy, is he still busy? But I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea. When a woman's trying to give me a blowjob and she backs off and puts on the baby voice and starts calling me daddy, there's a lot of confusing thoughts running through my head at that point. Like, is anybody in here like the daddy talk? Yeah, you didn't admit to the fucking stuff I said earlier. You're not getting it. Now we'll join in. Ladies, have any of you ever used the daddy voice on a lover? It can be, you can pretend it's an ex-lover, not the guy you're in here with now. Sure? Hazel? Has she? You've got 5 kids. You hear someone shouting daddy all the fucking time while you're talking about daddy's fucking busy! Come back to your room! But it was one of these that I don't get it. Like the whole daddy, like, ladies, if at some point you've got a cock in your mouth or in the vicinity of you, and you start doing baby talk and calling him daddy, and he stays hard or gets hard, you're fucking a nonce. That's not comedy, that's a life tip. That's a life hack. If you're dating a guy for the first time, you go, he looks a bit suspect, just go, daddy. And if he gets hard, he's a paedophile. That's some free advice from me to you. Just paedophile hunter. Be a great TV show. Well, it probably wouldn't be allowed on TV right now. It's a very confusing time. I thought I'd try new material, so we're just going through stuff. Oh yeah, fucking hell, that did happen. I'll be honest with you, I started drinking heavily after writing this down, so even I'm surprised at what I decided to talk about. I was on a date, not with the daddy chick, and this woman described me as intense and frightening. It's a little too much laughter for my life. I'll tell you the story why, because I'll be honest with you, she had good fucking reason, quite frankly. It was a mate of mine was trying to set me up with his cousin. She was 6 months pregnant at the time. That's beside the point, but I feel we'll let it in there. And mate was like, oh yeah, it'd be great, we'd have a great time with her. I was like, well, she won't be drinking, so that'll be a cheap date. If she does drink, I'll judge her. To be fair, at the time I was still actively using a large amount of cocaine and opioids, so who am I to judge? But we went on a date and we went to a pub in Christchurch called the Stour Vale. Now I don't know if it's become a trendy hotspot since then, but back then it was a shithole. Still is, good. Because she was 6 months pregnant, I'm not putting out all the stops. It's not like there were loads of guys waiting to date her, so why put the effort in that? Much like my school report card, C+ just coast fucking through it. I fine. My mate's going to see this and go, you fucking cunt, that's my cousin. Well, fuck her. So we were on a date and we sat there, and I'll bring you into the moment. It was quite nice of it. She sat at the table opposite me. She looks just as nervous as you do. It's almost like I'm back there. And during this date, I received what I'll call some digestive distress partway through. We know where it's going. And while we were having a conversation, I was starting to sweat quite profusely, because when you're having digestive distress, that is something that happens. And I was like, So Zoe's her daughter and Kat's her mother? You don't say! My God, I had no idea soaps were so interesting these days. And this went on for a little while, and then I had to excuse myself and go to the bathroom. Now, let's not pretend that when you've been on a date with someone and they've gone to the bathroom, you haven't kept an eye on the time, just to see how long they're going for. Now, I'm very concerned over this, more so than I probably fucking should be, quite frankly. So I went in there, I burst into the cubicle, pants down, trousers down as well, not an animal. Did my business very quickly, reached for toilet roll, there was none. Yeah, thanks for the sympathy. It doesn't help I was on my own. And I was like, fuck. Now, the Stairwell's not a classy place, so it was literally the one cubicle I was in at the time. And I was like, fuck. We need to think quickly, otherwise she's going to wonder what the fuck commotion is going on in here. So I just thought, right, when I get the opportunity, I'll signal the barman and let him know. So I pulled everything back up and I went back to the table and I carefully sat there trying to look as relaxed as I could. So, is Peggy still alive? And whilst staring at her was trying to get the attention of the bar staff over her shoulder, but still remaining as cool and aloof as I am now. Yeah! Wait, I thought Den was dead. He's back! My God! After about 10 minutes, she decided to go to the bathroom, and I went up to the bar and went, excuse me, there's no toilet roll in the men's bathroom, could someone see to that? And this 18-year-old kid just went, yeah mate, no props. And didn't fucking move. And I was like, it's kind of an issue. And he went, yeah bud. So I just went and sat back down and was just, I had to wait like half an hour before she had to go back to the bathroom, where at that point I walked up to the bar, grabbed some napkins and went, I'll fucking do it myself then! Wandered back in, cleaned up, then sat back down waiting for her to return. Needless to say, yeah, she called me intense and frightening after that day. We didn't see each other again, but you know, she's now raising 4 kids on her own, so who's really winning? But I do always check every fucking cubicle before I go in somewhere now. Oh, what's next on this theory of shame? Dead babies, intense and frightening, blowjob talk. Nan's dead. Well, we've reached the good bit. I've not done this story before, simply because it only happened recently. Not me Nan dying, but this story. Now, all of my comedy is just true. That's the fucking horrendous thing about it. People ask me all the time, like, where'd you get material? And it's just my tragic fucking life, told to you for cash instead of to a therapist where they take money off me. And I thought, I've got to get some new material, and then this fucking wonderful thing happened in my life, and I was like, this is gold dust. So, me Nan was one of the best people in my life. In amongst my 15 years as just an absolute train wreck of a human being, she let me do whatever I wanted and never judged. I was in court 7 fucking times. I brought friends of mine, friends is a loose term for drug dealers I did business with, to her house, where she fed them tea and cake while we waited for a handover. My nan is a gold star fucking woman. She was wonderful. And she lost a battle with cancer a few years ago, and it still very much upsets me. So, she'll really appreciate this fucking story. My granddad died 25 years ago. That's important for the story. So, Nan's dead, Grandad also dead. I know, we've had paedophiles, Nazis, Hitler. Now he's bringing the dead Nan to the table to really just fucking full house you all. So, me granddad, I was 10 at the time, was buried under an oak tree. They cremated him and then they put you under an oak tree and that's where he stays, because he's dead. So. Not a lot of moving house after death. Unless you're in a very bad cemetery, in which case there's shit going on that you don't want to be a part of. My nan died a couple of years back, and here's the funny thing about families, it's only when someone dies you see what horrible cunts some of them are. And most of my family are cunts. I am literally the nicest one in my family. How fucking terrifying is that? Look at me, the favourite grandchild. Just fucking look at me. I'm the nice one. How fucking ITV drama series trash is the rest of my fucking family? That I'm the one they go, he's the one we should let out in public to meet people. I'm the warm, funny one, as you can tell. Fuck off. The laughter there was of condemnation, not of acceptance. I can fucking tell. So after me nan died, there was this big fucking argument over who got what and all this shit. And two of my aunts, we had the funeral, then decided to sprinkle me nan's ashes without telling the rest of us, because they assumed we wouldn't want to be a part of it. I know, selfish cunts. Don't worry, it gets funnier. I feel I'm losing somebody in a stage of depression now. This is fucking terrible. It'll get much lighter, don't worry. There's no Hitler in this, it'll be fine. Sorry. Maybe next time. See if I can. To be fair, my great nan was a Nazi sympathiser, so could explain this. Don't know. See, you're back on board, son. Loves a bit of Adolf, that one. It's his favourite subject. Einstein and whatnot. So they took me nan's ashes and they put it under me granddad's tree. Very lovely, very touching. Now, there is a bit of a debate over which is me granddad's tree. Oh, you're back on the story now, aren't you? Look at you inconsiderate bastards. When it was just my poor dead nan, you didn't fucking care. Now she might be lost, you're all fucking excited to see her go. Fucking shame. I expect that from the Hitler lover, but I fucking left. She's so upset, she fucking left. At least there's one decent person in here. Has she been gone long? Should we time her, make sure she washes her hands? Hazel! Cheer, babe, it's okay. That's what if she looks angrily at you and reaches for that, then you know what's happened. It's the confidence of a woman that had a loo roll. I can see that. So yeah, in the crematorium there's these huge oak trees. There's like 3 of them. They all sort of bend out the ground together. And there's a debate if my granddad's under the second one or under the third one. So it creates a bit of uproar over where he's buried. So it was my granddad's birthday in May, and my mum called me, and she lives in Cornwall, and she wanted to come down and visit my granddad's tree. And she said, will you come with us for a bit of fun? Yeah, Mum, let's go a dead relative fucking hunting. It's outdoorsy, we can pack a lunch, it'll be a great time for everyone. So I go with me mum and we go to the crematorium, And we walk up to these big fucking oak trees. And my mum starts getting emotional, as she does, it's her dead parents. It'd be weird if she didn't get emotional. And she's talking to this tree, and I'm just stood back a bit, because I visit me Grandad on my own. I take a cake, a coffee, and smoke a fag with him and tell him all the stuff that I hate. And whoever I'm shagging maybe, because he loved those stories. And my mum's having this emotional moment and breakdown, and this groundskeeper, like the garden, groundskeeper, that's the phrase. I'm a fucking ex-coke dealer. I didn't, is groundskeeper or gardener? Groundskeeper, fucking help me out every now and again, people, fucking hell. It's not that there's a degree for this shit, Jesus. Groundskeeper comes by and he goes, is everything alright? And I go, fine, my mum's just saying hello to me Grandad. He went, your Grandad? And I went, his ashes were put there and the tree was planted on him. And the groundskeeper went, no he's not. Oh, you've been talking to my Uncle Morris, that prick thinks he's over there and all. I mean, it's just like, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been put under one of these trees. And I was like, just hold on for a second. Mum, we might be at the wrong Grandad or the wrong tree. I'm not 100% sure. And the groundskeeper goes, let me just make a call and I'll find out. He goes, what's your Grandad's name? And I go, it's Albert Ernest Young. He was buried 26 years ago. His birthday's today, that'll be in the Book of Remembrance. And I go, okay, no problem. And he goes off and he makes a little phone call. Are they washing their hands too? I never miss a fucking trick. And while he's talking, this other guy goes, I've called the head groundkeeper. He's been here 50 years. He knows everything about this crematorium. I was like, brilliant. He is the man for the job when it comes to finding dead relatives. I'm fully convinced of him. And we go, tell me Grandad's name. And he goes, nah, not here, mate. Like, we've been coming to this tree for years. And he goes, no. And I went, yeah. And he went, no. And I went, yeah. And he went, oh. What's the name again? I told him the name and he went, Cherry Oak, Plot 1. No, who was it?
Mate.
And mate, you said that very sheepishly. Is that the booty call? Should I talk to them? I'm game. Male or female friend? Have you seen his cock? Yes, you fucking have! That's why you put a phone on fucking silence and go I can fucking tell when you've been sucking cock. Sorry, sucking cock, Grandad. Right. And he goes, yeah, Cherry Oak Plot 1. And I was like, oh, okay. I went, are you... I said, before we upset my mother, are you sure it's not this tree? And he went, these trees are 60 years old, mate. They were here when the crematorium opened. And I was like, well, he's definitely not buried under there. It's like, Mum, stop hugging a random tree, it's embarrassing. And the guy went, I'll show you where it is. And he walked us past all these gravestones to this like little courtyard of oak trees. And my mum went, these do seem familiar to me. How was she goes, there was a woman whose husband had died, she kept putting potted plants in the other, oh look, potted plants. What the fuck have we been doing over there for 20 years? So, well, I get confused. Fuck it, who have I been talking to for 20 fucking years? And then I went, where's Nan buried? And this realisation came over my mum going, she's under your granddad's tree. And I went, but the only people in the family that know which tree it is are you and me, and we only know now. And Nan's been dead for 2 years, Mum. She went, she's under the wrong fucking tree. And The groundskeeper, to his credit, went, "I'm so sorry," and I went, "My granddad would fucking love this." And I laughed, and my mum went, "This is fucking horrifying. What are we?" I went, "We are so white trash. We lost our own dead grandma. Who the fuck does that? Where's Nan? Oh, she got a bus to town. Where's Nan? I don't fucking know. We buried her somewhere. Fuck knows who she's with now. She's with Bill and fucking whoever, playing chess, looking at me granddad 200 yards away and go, what the fuck am I here?" And I said to my mum, I said, "There is one silver lining in all of this." And she went, "What?" I went, "Number one, it's fucking hilarious." And my mum went, "It's really not, Sebastian." That's how I knew I was in trouble. She broke out the full end. "It's not, Sebastian. Your grandma is missing." I went, "She's not missing, she's mislocated. She's Grandad adjacent. She's not missing. We know where she is, it's just the wrong fucking place." And my mum went, "I don't know what they're going to do." And I went, "I've got a crazy idea. Get a shovel." I didn't. I know I seem like the type that would, but I promise you I didn't. I went, "The only people that know she's buried in the wrong spot are me and you and the groundskeeper, who's crying because he realises he's buried some of the wrong place." Like, "It's fine, Will, it's fine, this will be hilarious, I'll tell you later." And I'm going, like, I don't pretend to like the rest of our family. I fucking hate all of them. Right? Now, someone has to tell them that grandma's buried in the wrong place. So I said, "How about, if it's all right with you, I tell this story at a comedy club and I'm being recorded, and that's how they find